I come out the scuffle without a scuffle. Money over hose. Uproar by Lil Wayne. Greetings, Aries. Welcome to your birthday month in quarantine. Oh, yay. Just, you know, bringing it light here. So I thought that was an interesting song to come up. You know, I feel like obviously this is not a time to take things lightly, but at the same time, it's important that we don't take things too seriously. Yeah, Aries? So Aries with Uproar by Lil Wayne. Uproar. There's an uproar happening in your life right now. I feel like for a lot of my Aries, they're just literally like grabbing an end of a table. I literally just saw someone grabbing a table and just like flipping it and just being like, boom! It's like, I come out this shuffle without a shuffle. Without a shuffle? I come out of the shuffle without being scuffled. I come out of the scuffle without being shuffled. Basically, you're walking out victorious of a situation, Aries, that could feel, most people would basically collapse. But Aries, that's so weird. I've never had a shuffle happen like that. What is it? It's the moon. Okay, so we are in the new moon right now. The full moon will be shortly. Under that, we have the Queen of Wands. So look, you're coming out. I'm coming out, so you better get this party started. I'm coming out, so you better. Coming out. Aries. Uproar. It's like some of my Aries have been, woo, in the shadows, and they're coming to the surface now. So, what do we have? Ooh, 7 of Swords. Aries is your energy. Now, usually when we see the 7 of Swords, this is seen as deception. It's also seen, though, as being sneaky, as being like a sly fox. And during these times, you may feel like you have to kind of sneak through here. Interesting. Very interesting. So, Aries, there's definitely a feeling here like you're making moves in your life, but you're not telling people. You don't want people to know. And of course, we go from that Lil Wayne song to some nice instrumental. Okay. Aries, I'm feeling a past life from like a Renaissance time. I'm feeling like someone who's actually in the Titanic. This actually, this may sound really crazy, but I'm feeling like for an Aries who literally jumped out of a window in the Titanic in a past life, like 1912. So for anyone with past life energy here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. There's 7 leaves as there are 7 swords. And when I think of leaves, I think of something carrying through the wind. Now we do have this like raven parrot mix, and he is holding, I just went totally blank on what they're called, a pendulum. He's holding like a pendulum, and it has things across it, which would be like a heartbeat, but they're steady, like they're steady. We see it's like a steady heartbeat there. So it's like you, and he's balancing on the ledge, and he's barefoot. So Aries, there's something here that you're balancing. You are on a very, you're like riding a fine line here. There's like a fine sword's edge. But you're planning. The 7 of Swords is also all about planning, because 7 is all about spiritual, the esoteric, the mysterious. The swords are all about mental. So it's all about you're plotting something, and people may be trying to figure you out right now, Aries, but people just can't seem to figure you out. People can't seem to see what you're doing. People can't seem to get ahead of that. Now, even though you have 5 swords on your back, you're looking at these 2 swords, and those 2 swords are what you're focused on. So there's something here that you're like collecting, maybe, moving towards. Lots of blue energy here, lots of indigo. We do have the full moon up there behind the raven. What's crossing you is the 5 of Cups. Okay, so Aries, you also may be sneaking away from a situation. It's like you may be leaving a situation where you didn't necessarily completely end things, but you've ended things because you and this person haven't been talking. Someone's not feeling emotionally fulfilled here. Someone's not feeling emotionally listened to. You are feeling like you're emotionally left out. 5 of Cups. It's all about like, really? That's it? It's like you gave so much and that person didn't give anything back. What? So you smartened up, you wisened up, you stepped out of, even though this is like a scar that you're always going to wear, it's always going to be a tide, a ripple in your ocean, Aries, so to speak. You are not letting this affect you, so you have chopped from your emotions. 5 is all about challenges. So there's an emotional challenge here because there's an emotional need that's not quite being met. Ooh, as we have hold up, they don't love you like I love you. Hold up. So we have Beyonce, hold up. Coming up next, so yeah, with the 7 of Swords here, someone could have been deceptive to you. Someone could have been giving their energy and multiple revenues, and you were just putting all of your energy into them, and you walked out, you realized that this is what's crossing you. You're like, oh, wait a minute. Love you, hold down. They don't love you like I love you. Okay, so back up. They don't love you like I love you. Ooh, Aries. Can't you see? There's no other. What a wicked way to treat the girl that loves you. Woo! Aries, someone is feeling it here. Okay, subconsciously, we have 6 of Wands. Okay, so 6 of Wands is all about being in the public eye. It's all about going out mingling with people. You're subconsciously thinking about this. So you may be planning for a move. You may be planning to do a job change, or you may be planning to step out in the light with your crafts. You may be working on something. Generally speaking, when people come out of relationships that they see they weren't really fulfilling their life's destiny, it can kind of be like the slingshot bow and arrow effect, Aries, that kind of pushes you towards your destiny. So I'm kind of feeling like this situation, whatever it was, it's pushing you into your destiny because you have 6 of Wands in your subconscious. So you may not even feel this. Aries, if any of you guys are still feeling this 5 of Cups energy where you're like, you know, oh, I'm not sure, this, that, and the other, you are going to come into union, harmony here. This is about working with others. 6 is all about harmony. It's all about harmonizing. It's also the number of Jesus, truly. And we do see the golden tower here, golden gates. We see he's on a white horse. He's very triumphant. He has the dragon here. He has the dragon crown. 6 of Wands, it's a very grand gesture, but also it's like very equal. You don't see yourself above others. It's like you're rising, and you're rising the collective with you. So there's a collective rise here, Aries. Now what's crowning you is the King of Swords in reverse. So there is a blockage here in a way that you're communicating this. So it's like subconsciously, you know, you have all the tools to make this happen. You know that you have the energy for this. You know that you have the skills. You feel confident. There's no nervousness, but there's not quite a connect and how to clearly communicate to make this thing a reality, either to make this move, to make this job kind of pop off, to create this new business, to communicate with someone. King of Swords in reverse can also be with the 7 of Swords, that you are not taking anyone's shit because they left you in the 5 of Cups. This is what's crossing you. Like, they left you like this, but you're better than that now. You've risen up out of the challenges from a 5 into the harmony of a 6. And because you've risen into that place of harmony, and 6s can also be about collaboration. It's all about being able to play nice with others and cooperation. So because you've come out of this place of challenges and feeling very isolated because this person wasn't a very warm energy or kind of cold and just, you know, fed from you. This is energy vampires just sucking energy from you, sucking your life force. But you came out on top because you used the bow and arrow, kind of did like a slingshot effect. But because of that, King of Swords in reverse, you're guarding, you're protecting something. Now, King of Swords in reverse can also be you have some grand ideas that have matured. They are of king nature. It's not a page, it's not a knight, it's solid, it's a king. Your intellect, your mental space, you have everything there. It's like quantum, the meta, it's like you're there. Everything is. But it's in reverse right now because it's brewing with that 7 of Swords. It's not quite to fruition because you want these last 2 swords before you come out and you really propose this idea, or before someone proposes this idea to you. So, where did you come from, Aries? Where did you come from? Where did you come from? All right, so we have 10 of Cups. Is your past energy. So lots of comfort here, but I'm sensing like a feeling of like, it was like boring. It's like whatever the last situation was, it was comfortable. Maybe there's something that was really convenient. And if you really look back on it, Aries, I feel like you just got to be honest with yourself and be like, okay, yeah, this situation was comfortable. This situation was definitely comfortable, but they're not laughing. They're not in their highest bliss. They're not like challenging each other. You know, maybe you challenge each other in the way that your emotional needs weren't met and that person was, you know, just not meeting your emotional needs, truly. And maybe there's something you weren't meeting. At the same time, this 10 of Cups, of all the 10 of Cups and all the cards, I know 10 of Cups is generally seen as like a very happy card, but in this deck, I just don't see it that way because there's a fire and then we have like these 2 chains. So there's almost like a bondage There's like a bound, a feeling of like feeling trapped almost by this. It's like, oh yeah, this is nice. And like, I just love them so much, but like, there's other things out there. There's Six of Wands out there. So this is some Aries who actually may be thinking, with the Seven of Swords being your current energy and the Ten of Cups with your previous energy, could be navigating divorce here for sure. Definitely some divorce energy there. We have Four of Swords as the energy you're moving into, Aries. I really like this because not only is Four of Swords healing, but Four is all about stability. Four is all about bringing in that internal peace. You have to get the harmony inside before you can go to the next step, because you won't be able to manage the challenges of the fives. I know this is changing suits, so to speak, from swords to cups and wands, but we do have 4, 5, 6. I know, again, it goes from the 5 of Cups, so from this challenging space, you're rising to the 6 of Wands, but you're realizing in your rise to that space, King of Swords, you're holding back on communication of something because there's a little more healing that you need to do. And whenever you do this little more healing, which is just your next step, Aries, you're going to receive a message. Now we see there is a black raven, a crow. He's coming over this man with a red flower and a white flower. So, and we have, some, say hello to my swan orchids. They've been lovely during this time. So Aries, there's definitely some deep healing that is coming in for you on your future about this whole situation. On your path, you have the High Priestess in reverse. Now, High Priestess in reverse, there's something that you feel foggy about. You feel like there's a situation you didn't quite get. It all makes sense because your environment is the Tower. So whoever you're dealing with is the Tower. They're going through a lot right now. You may not know it. You guys may not even be talking. In fact, I highly doubt you're talking with the 5 of Cups here and the 7 of Swords. And if you are talking, and the King of Swords in reverse, who's the King of Communication, and the 4 of Swords, who's like, you just can't care less about the situation with the 4 of Swords because they emotionally drained you from the 5. So you're like, yeah, you already taught me how to survive on nothing. So I am just like full on surrender mode here, and I'm just surrendering to whatever is. What will be, right, Aries? Sure will. And they're the Tower right now. You are the High Priestess in reverse because even though you have this knowledge and you have everything within, you're still brewing it like the King of Swords. And right now you may actually have an aspect of you that this could manifest in a darker way. This could be showing up to other people. You could be coming off to others in a way that you aren't meaning to come off to others. Aries have really strong personalities, very strong presence as well. And so this, like, you're hurting, so you don't want to communicate, but there's like a protective shell around you that's also, other people can see that. They can see that. And so Spirit is kind of asking you here to heal that, because the 6 of Wands is what's subconsciously behind everything. It's driving you into the space, into the spotlight. But before you step into the spotlight, so to speak, on the stage, before you step out in front of all these people and really share from the space, you want to get clarity. That's why you're not doing this yet, because the High Priestess is in reverse. Now, as soon as she goes upright, it's go time. It's go time, mother. It's go time. But you feel like this High Priestess can't be upright until you hear from them. But they're in the Tower right now. Something is totally happening in their life, way more than you can imagine, which is probably why they're not reaching out to you. And you can't even, realize that, because Aries, you're like, well, sucks for them, I guess. Karma's a bitch, right? Because they're experiencing some massive shifts right now. In fact, they're definitely thinking about you, Aries. I'm definitely getting that. But there is so much stuff going on in their life right now that they literally just don't have the capacity. But your lesson here, Aries, is that you don't actually need to know what is going on with them. It's none of your business what's going on with them for you to pursue your dreams. However, you think it does because maybe it's like, well, if this works out, then I'm going to stay here and I'm not going to move. Maybe the 6 of Wands is I'm going to move. I'm going to heal 4 and I'm going to move because the situation is comfortable and it's boring and it's complacent. It's complacent. You don't want complacent. You're Aries. Now, hopes, dreams, and fears, it's King of Wands in reverse. So this could be a fire sign that you're dealing with. This could be hoping that King of Wands in reverse is very manipulative. This is definitely the narcissist, sociopath, psychopath kind of card. So hopes, dreams, and fears, this could definitely be the person you're dealing with, Tower card. But Aries, you also have to be wary where this could be other people perceiving this to be you, with the High Priestess in reverse, the King of Swords, and the 7 of Swords. Other people could just not know how to read your energy right now, so they could be looking at you like a King of Swords in reverse. Outcome is the Page of Swords in reverse. Oh my gosh, this is like the ultimate spying card. Like Page of Swords is already a spying card, but in reverse it's like sneaky AF. So Aries, are you spying on someone? Is someone spying on you? There's hardcore spying going on here. Hardcore spying. I want to clarify that outcome. I'm going to use my Celtic deck. I think, okay, see the Nine of Pentacles. So some of my Aries are definitely going to be breaking free, and I want to break free. I want to break free. I want to break free from your lies. You're so self-satisfied. I don't need you. I've got to break free. So some of my Aries are breaking free. We have 10 of Cups in reverse there. And see, this would be a happy 10 of Cups upright, but it's not. It's in reverse. It's like you had a castle together, you may have kids together, had an arm around you at one point. We have the Queen of Pentacles over here. She's all by herself, but she is nurturing. She's learning how to nurture herself because someone left her cups empty. What a shame. But it's okay because she has karma on her side. 6 of Wands. She's endured something. She is going within. She is healing. I say she, could be a he, but you know, if you're a guy watching this, then you still have the feminine side in you, the left side of your body. So there's something also feminine, like your mother's lineage, your women ancestors. There's something here that is healing, that's going on. Outcome. That was fast. We have the Empress in reverse with the Ace of Wands. Okay, so Empress could be Aries, Sagittarius, or Taurus, or Libra. So there could be any of those 4 signs that you're dealing with that is either withholding from you. They could be spying on you but not saying anything. It's like this person's watching you. Now at the Ace of Wands, it's like they want to offer you something passionate, but perhaps it is just something passionate and they can tell that you want something more serious. So Aries, you could be kind of like intimidating someone here because you have kind of laid down the law, like you're not going to take any just like hookup thing, and this person may feel like, you know, with you showing up with all these king and queens energy, they may feel like they are a page compared to you. They may feel like inadequate. They may still be dealing with things like that, but they do want to offer something passionate to you. They have a passionate progression that they want to offer you, Aries. Now the 6 of Wands is also a traveling card, so this person could be at a distance from you, so they could see it as like impractical. So they're being quiet. Page of Swords in reverse, Empress in reverse, because even though they have these feelings, they have these thoughts, they're watching you, this, that, and the other, they want to give you a sturdy offer. I mean, look at that hand. He is clenching onto that. He's like, here, take my stag. Take my staff. Ooh, take my staff. Okay, let's see what the ponies have to say, and we'll see some runes for you guys. I'm feeling frisky with this whole quarantine. Honestly, though, it's been really fascinating to see what's going on in the world, yeah? Especially all of the correlations. Like Tangled, she was, you know, locked in a castle in quarantine in the land of Corona. And I don't know if you guys saw, but Kobe, rest in peace, he was buried in Corona del Mar. And Kobe, in Hebrew, is COVID. Like COVID-19. Now I'm not taking all of those at all, but I do think it's interesting that they decided to all pop out like that. Okay, that one flipped. Whoop. All right, Aries, we have innocence. Not all innocence is lost, Aries. Right now you are craving to be innocent or naive about a certain area in your life. High Priestess in reverse could maybe not want to see the reality of the situation here. Examine what these areas are, Aries. You're being challenged to further delve into what innocence may bring you in this time of your journey. Innocence can be a gift to your soul or a gift to others you are interacting with. When you are walking in a state of pure innocence, there's hope and there's trust, Aries. Your curiosity abounds and you venture forth into new places without any fear. Now's the time to have no fear, like we heard, uproar, okay? So there are no thoughts holding judgment, only trust, learning, and openness. Vulnerability will allow new experiences, and risks are taken without even realizing what risk is about. Examine or find your innocence at this juncture. Treasure it and let it show you the way. So Aries, there's definitely a call here. I see like the tulips in this baby foal. There's definitely a call here to tap into your state of innocence and to give yourself permission to do that. You know, Aries, sometimes you can just be so darn serious. So darn serious. Why so serious? Okay, so you have Othala here. Othala is all about inheritance. So some of you guys could be receiving an inheritance. If you're in any sort of court case or anything like that, you'll be getting a lump sum of money from there. I know also, obviously, the package is trying to get passed through Senate right now to get people, what, like $1,000 to $1,200. But Aries, I'm really feeling that for some of you guys, this is going to be a bigger inheritance. So there's an inheritance coming through for you. Could be, I don't mean to say it, but could be from someone passing in the family. Could also be from, again, like I said, court case, anything like that. Stocks, I don't know, there's some kind of inheritance coming through here. Also could be property. You could be gaining property, moving home. This is all about land, possession, home, relocations, contact with the family, material prosperity, acquiring property. This can also be hoarding things, being hungry for power, an inability to let go and clinging to nostalgic daydreaming, which can be all about the High Priestess in reverse. It's like, Aries, wake up. I'm seeing Rafiki with his stick just being like, boom, just like booping you. You need a good boop. One of my Aries needs a good boop. Look, this person wants to boop you. In a different way though. But Aries, you do want something serious, but you're stuck on something from the past. You're like clinging to this thing, even though you've already let go, but you haven't mentally let go because we have the King of Swords in reverse. So you've let go passionately because you're the Six of Wands moving forward. You're passionately moving forward. When people see you, they're like, yeah, you're moving forward. Energetically, you're moving forward. Emotionally, your cups, you're moving forward. However, mentally, there's a part of you that's still like, it's just not right. It's just not right. But Aries, consider this. It's actually totally right. However, you're tapping into that whole feeling that doesn't feel right. It's not even your feeling. It's actually you picking up, because Aries are pretty intuitive, way more than they usually think that they are. You're picking up on the other person's tower. So it's like this tower isn't yours, it's the other person's, but you're picking up on this energy. And because you're picking up on this energy and you're picking up on them because you still have a soul tied to them, because, you know, it's probably a past life karmic relationship that you had to let go of. You feel like your vision, your views, your clarity is fogged right now. Like there's something that you can't quite access because you're actually, your field is penetrating into the tower of the other person's, which isn't even your thing. Because we saw the Page of Swords in reverse, so you're spying or they're spying, and you may not be spying, you know, like on media or anything. This person may not even have media, but like on the astral plane, energetically, your spirit is like kind of spying on what they're doing. Like when you go to sleep at night, you may not even remember that dream, but your spirit's like, real quick, I'm just gonna Seven of Swords. That's, yeah, it's like for a lot of you guys, it's just like, I'm just gonna sneak over here in their dream world real quick and just see what they're doing over there. And it's like very innocent, like the Fool. Okay, so back to this. This is all about learning the codes and embodying the alignment, time to connect to a, okay. This is all about cyclical wealth, permanent security, safety, protection, ascension, anchoring in heaven on earth, which a lot of us, I do generally believe, once we go through this blackout period, which is indeed for the next 5 to 10 years. I know that sounds like a long time, but once we get past this 5 to 10 years, things are going to be a lot better on the other side of it, you guys. I genuinely believe that. This is all about, like I said, clinging to nostalgia, daydreaming, freedom, utopia, group order, paradise, ancestral spiritual power. This is about collection of spiritual power and knowledge from previous generations that's passed down into your DNA, Aries, that you're tapping into. This is all about wealth accumulated through generations. Try floating several ancestral streams at once. Choose one or two that are dominant in your blood. Identify your natural talents and tap into the consciousness of these talents. So for example, if you want to be like a good fighter, then look at, you know, tap into the consciousness of Bruce Lee. You know, like if you want to be a good musician, think of your favorite musician and tap into what their consciousness is in a theta state or go into meditative state. And just imagine, what would it be like if I were trying on that person's consciousness, if I were wearing that person's consciousness? You know, if you want to be a really good painter, really good artist, you like Salvador Dali, then when you meditate, imagine yourself, okay, I'm in Salvador Dali's mind right now. How is he thinking before I make my next piece of art, etc., etc. So this is a very powerful rune for that. The symbol of it is down here. This is Othala. This is all about the weight of your ancestors' virtuous deeds has accumulated. So your ancestors have done virtuous deeds over time. They've accumulated to this time in your life. Hey, what's up? Hello. it's time to connect to that battery. So there are things here, Aries, that your ancestors have worked on. It's like your ancestors have gotten really good at playing a certain instrument, or really good at doing a certain thing, really good at, you know, baking a certain thing or certain style of food, or creating, you know, there's some sort of business. There's something that's in your blood. It's like a business of the bloodline. And it's time, Aries, that you tap into that, because it has accumulated. So even though this carnation, you may feel like, I'm not good at that. You may have the imposter syndrome towards whatever this is. Aries, it's telling you no. It's go time. You are a master at it because all of your ancestors have accumulated. So even though you may feel new to this thing, you're not new to this thing, because the blood that you carry, the DNA that you carry, actually carries the codes. So as I said, this is learning these codes and embodying them in the highest amount, Aries. I like this. This is about honoring your ancestors, setting things right, a homecoming to the savior. I love this. Liberation and transcendence from the self, owning your responsibility for your own destiny, understanding that the future is a continual movement into paradise if you choose. This is about aligning the inner compass towards heaven on earth, restoring the planet to its harmonious and sustainable state, which I believe we are seeing that, as unfortunate as this whole catastrophe is for humanity and for the economy. If we look at what it's doing for Earth, it is doing some beautiful things, and I'm not at all trying to pull away from what it is doing to people and what it's doing to the economy, because it is doing treacherous things in that regard. But we do have to acknowledge that it is doing wonderful things for the planet. This is all about nobility, having a wise management of your resources. It ain't perfect, but I don't mind because it's worth it. All right, Aries. This is all about an innate understanding that humans as a species have the potential to create a harmonious and peaceful society. This is connecting to your genetic wisdom, being linked to the consciousness of the first human seeking for something deeper than a simple animal existence. So we are transcending out of the primal, visceral, animalistic ways of being human, Aries, and we are transcending into those higher states. And so you are kind of a leader. I mean, you are the leader of the zodiac, but you are a leader of that for people. So this rune is all about being that leader. As we see, he's here with all the people, he's in the community. This is about stop romanticizing your past memories, Aries, with the King of Swords in reverse and the High Priestess in reverse. Heal like the Four of Swords, create that harmony, center yourself, center your ass, and the expansion of the light of human consciousness against the forces of ignorance and darkness of the old chaotic world. How true is that right now with what's going on? Man, this is so perfect. This is all about being linked to the consciousness of humanity, of the collective, and being able to lift. This is about the druids and the mystics. This is understanding, defending the territory of the mystics and the ancients. So this is all about community, homecoming, personal space, strength, and family. So you may be strengthening your relationship with your family at this time. We do have 24, which adds up to a 6 again. So I'm kind of feeling like this card is a lot like the 6 of Wands energy, Aries. So we will see how this plays out for you guys. I love you guys, and I will check in for an end of the month April readings.